Welcome back everyone, Jeremy here, Crazy Christmas Crew. Another video for the lighter Rama. This time I wanted to make a somewhat hopefully quick video on doing some special timing and subdividing when you want your lights to move faster than your grid. Now in this case, if I play this range of let's see, visible screen, you'll hear. Let me just turn this up a second. Let me play that again. Now you hear the I have an arch that's going to be going over my doorway, and what I want is this arch to be able to go back and forth on every beat. So it's much faster. It's actually twice as fast as the grid will let me do that. Now let me just take, for example, if I wanted to go ahead and make this arch go back and forth, as it says, I have this mark right here, and I'll actually put that mark up there just to know where I'm going to start the chase. If I go and print my arch, which is 8 channels, and then have it come back up, alright, and if I play this, it goes all the way over all 8 channels on one beat. And I want it to go double the speed. So what I'm going to have to do is subdivide the timings just for this one beat, which is actually, I'm going to go ahead and erase, because these are 2 beats. 8 blocks is one beat, I believe. Anyway, so I need to basically subdivide. I need to go twice as fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select this right here, okay? Because this grid from left to right here is, I want the lights to go all the way down and come all the way back up within this time frame. So I've selected that time frame. I'm going to go right click and I'm going to subdivide. Subdivide timings. Now I want it to go twice as fast. I can go from the top to the bottom, and 1, but I need to go from the top to the bottom and back to the top and 1. So I know I have to divide it by 2. And as you can see, just this selected area, it actually put twice as many hash marks, or it made the grid twice as tight. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and delete everything that I've made so far, and I'm going to quickly go down Now keep in mind, if you have a musical background, this programming makes it a little bit easier. Now I was a drummer, so it makes sense. Now in this case, if I were to go down and then come straight back up, okay, just go straight back up, I'm actually 1/8 of a beat off. Okay, so, and if you continue to do that, your thing that's supposed to be, whatever you're doing is supposed to be on the beat, will eventually get off. And it'll get back on, but it'll get off. It won't be on time. When you're using 8 channels, even number of channels, you want to keep this in mind. Okay, so what I'm going to need to do is, when it gets down to the bottom, I'm going to actually have to put 2 blocks in a row, and then come back up, and it should end up at the end. But when it starts over, when I repeat it, it'll start up there. So it'll be actually 2 blocks in a row up here as well. Okay, so it'll work out. Now if it was an odd number like 9, I could go all the way down. This block would be here, and then when I came back up, it would be in line again. That's one of the reasons I did my tree with 9 channels, but I wanted my arch with 8 because I needed the extra channel for something else. So keep that in mind too when you're programming. Sometimes if you're going to be programming something that's going to go back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth, and you want it to be a nice smooth, you don't want it to go to the back and then stop for a second to come back to stay on the beat. If you don't want that slight pause and then come back over and another slight pause to make sure it stays on the beat, then you're going to want your channels to be an odd number, like 9 or 5 or something to that nature. This way you can program that. If you don't care about the pause, or if you're not going to be going back and forth on something like that, then even numbers work, and I would suggest 4 or 8, or anything in intervals of 4 or even 8, like 8 or 16, something to that nature. Anyway, now if I play this real quick, you'll see that it'll go down and up in the time frame that I want. However, if I were to go ahead, and I'm going to tell you one thing here, this is the reason I'm making this video, is to show this. If I wanted to repeat this over and over and over, let's just say for the end of the song, and I were to go ahead and select this, right click, copy, and then paste, it doesn't do what I want it to do because the timing is off, right? So what do we have to do? This is why I'm showing and making this video. What we need to do is, instead of subdividing the rest of the song by 2 and then having these little tiny things and making your programming a lot more difficult, I'm going to select the section here, right click, I'm going to say delete selected timings. Are you sure? Yes. And you can see it makes it one giant timing. Now I'm going to subdivide that timing, right click, subdivide timings by 8. And this is basically putting back the way it was before I even started. Now, because I knew that I selected 8 blocks and subdivided by 2 to make 16 blocks to make this go down twice as fast, when I came back and deleted those timings and made one big block, I knew dividing it by 8 would put it back to the way it was before I even started. Now, if I were to go ahead and select this, okay, right click, copy, and paste, it does it in the right sense. Now I can continue, I can actually do paste multiple, and then I can do all the way to the end of the track. Now when I get to a spot where I don't want it to do this, I'll just erase it. But I'll just go ahead and select it and have it go to the end of the track. Now when I play the song, let me scoot up a little bit here. Now it's sometimes a little bit difficult to see the lights going back and forth on the little description over here because they're going so quickly, but this should be in line with all my downbeats that I've already marked, as you can see with the star. Now I went ahead and started fading the star since the last video, and that's probably what I'm going to have the star do, is blinking with the song. As we can start here, I want that hit, and it's going to fade every hit. But the arch will be able to go back and forth in double speed. So that's what I wanted it to do. Now when it gets to a point, I will just select and copy and delete that section. This is a good trick to do also if I'm actually thinking about doing the same thing with the wreath. Now I have 8 channels on the wreath, I have 8 channels in the arch. Maybe I can get the wreath to go back and forth in the same time. Now this song doesn't have a whole lot of different melodies and different tempos and different beats. So I wouldn't say different tempos, but different beats. So trying to program 64 channels, 64 channels, I might have to double up on some things. So everything is running, but I'm not having the window or the arch or the wreath or something doing something weird that doesn't make any sense. So what I'll go ahead and do, just for now, I might change it later, I'm going to go ahead and select just the one section, again, which I already have it copied, so I don't really need to. And I'm just going to bring it down to the wreath and hit paste multiple all the way into the end of the track. And that will put that all the way to the end of the track too, and do the same thing the arch is doing. While I'm doing this paste thing, I want to make a quick note just so you know. If you were to right click, let me come down here. As you can see, I've already programmed some stuff here when it comes to my pillars. If I right click, paste multiple, you can actually, instead of paste and then move and paste again and move, you can actually select, if I know that the song repeats itself for 4 measures and I have 1 measure worth of stuff or whatever, I can actually select how many times I want it to repeat, which makes my life a little easier when copying and pasting. All right? Or you can do all the way to the end of the track. This is how many times would you like to paste your selection horizontally. Okay. Now this other selection down here is how many times you would like to paste it vertically. Same thing goes. If in this case I can actually, I'm selecting 8 channels, and I could have actually done the wreath and the arch and the wreath all in one time by doing how many times do I want it to repeat vertically, and switch this to 2. And this way it would have put it on the first 8 channels and the second 8 channels. And you can do them both at the same time, or if I were to select all the way to the end of the track, this means from top to bottom, because this is the vertical selection. So if I knew that everything below wreath 1 I wanted to do the same thing, then I could do that. That is good when you want everything to come on at the same time, or everything to fade out at the same time. Instead of selecting and having to do them all, you can actually select, highlight, record, copy one thing, and then have it repeat or paste it vertically to the end of the track. So just keep that in mind. It's a little helpful tool to have there. Anyway, I wanted to show you this trick and this way to hopefully make your life a little easier and customize your lights so you won't be pulling out your hair, or you make sure that your lights are doing what you want. So stay tuned for the next video. It's coming up soon.